Please welcome Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome.
考えたこともないですね。
I've never even thought about that.
考えたことないな。
I guess maybe Mario.
なんでしょうね。
Maybe because he's so straightforward and at ease with what he does. I'm working with some younger developers these days, younger guys on the team. Of course, I can't always say that I'll have the energy to continue to work the way we have been, but you know, right now it's still a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. So I foresee myself doing this for the time being. Well, I certainly don't think we've seen the last of Pikmin. I definitely would like to try to do something with them. And I think the Wii interface in particular is very well suited to that franchise. Well, you know, the Animal Crossing team has been very busy working on a variety of different projects. Actually, the Mii channel was put together by the director of the Animal Crossing game, the most recent one. His name's Mr. Nogami. And he was director on the Mii channel, and recently he said that he really wants to get back to work on Animal Crossing again. So hopefully we'll be able to show something to people before too long. Well, there isn't anything that I can speak to today, but I think that there are a few ways to handle that. One is that with you know, SD cards, you can store quite a bit of data using SD cards, and that's why we've included the SD card slot. The other thing that I would have to point out is that with the Virtual Console games and anything that you've downloaded, when you download that, you're downloading the rights to play that game. So even if you remove it from your Wii, you can go back and re-download it again at any time at no additional charge. It's really hard to say. We've never had a Zelda that's appeared so early in the life cycle of a system, so it's definitely possible that there would be another Zelda on Wii. Of course, the challenge is that typically a Zelda game is something that takes, you know, somewhere in the range of 3 years to make, so we'll just have to wait and see. We look at Super Mario Galaxy really as the next evolution of Super Mario 64. Just that type of gameplay and the challenges the game will offer, it's definitely something the hardcore audience is going to be satisfied with. Well, I think maybe early on there were some developers that weren't putting as much effort into it as they perhaps could have, but I think that that's probably going to be changing. You know, when we are creating games for Wii, obviously we're using our best development resources to make the best possible games that we can. And I think now that the third parties have really come on and understood the concepts behind Wii and what we're trying to achieve with it, they're really starting to devote more of their best resources to developing games for it. So I think we'll see that quality improve. At the same time, we have a third-party support group at Nintendo, and that group has been providing third parties with the same level of support that we would expect to receive from our in-house support teams. So I think that very quickly we're going to start seeing the third parties really start to improve in quality and their know-how and their capabilities in developing for Wii. It can measure weight extremely accurately. I mean, it's probably, in fact, more accurate than the average bathroom scale. We aren't thinking of any particular Wii Connect 24 functionality for Wii Fit itself, but I definitely think that in the future there would be possibilities to take advantage of Wii Connect 24 functionality for, say, something like, you know, working with a doctor on rehabilitation or with a fitness specialist on training exercises. But we don't have. I think there's definitely room for expansion in that area. We just don't have plans to include that with Wii Fit. But we have received a great deal of interest from both fitness trainers and doctors and hospitals regarding that. And then, of course, as I mentioned, it is a very technologically advanced device, the WIL Balance Board, and it can measure very accurately. So probably the first thing that comes to mind would be a snowboarding game. It would be very easy to take this and apply it to a snowboarding game, or for somebody who makes snowboarding games to make their game compatible with the WIL Balance Board. Well, we haven't announced anything, so I can't speak about any particulars. But we do have a lot of different ideas about how to potentially use the Wii Remote for something like that. There will be some fencing in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, so if I'm not, I'm very sorry, Sega. Well, unfortunately, while I am involved in Smash Brothers, I am not able to talk about it at all right now because all Smash Brothers announcements are going to be handled by way of the Smash Brothers Dojo website and Mr. Sakurai's blog. Well, I don't know if it would be necessarily changing the system, but as you mentioned earlier, finding a way to provide more memory for people to save their virtual console saves would be something that I'd be interested in trying to improve. Well, it is hard to say because originally in thinking about both the Wii and what we wanted from a video game console that we hoped would be in everybody's homes, then really our original thinking was as long as they have kind of one sports game, then that would probably be enough, and it'd be nice if they have like a sports game and a racing game and have kind of a variety of different games rather than say a whole bunch of just sports games. So we've talked of course about Wii Sports 2 and the possibility of doing different things with that, but at the same time it kind of goes against what our original thinking was in creating the Wii Sports game. But if we were to do it, then I would think probably we would do, say, something like a Wii Winter Sports rather than just a sequel to Wii Sports. So it might have a slightly different flavor to it. I've kind of felt almost as if we've made a few too many of the Mario Sports games, so one of the things I want to do with Wii Sports is take sports in a different direction from just the Mario Sports game. Well, I can't say anything, talk about anything in particular right now, but of course recently Nintendo has acquired another company or two, and we've kind of built relationships with some other companies that are particularly good at making games geared toward the hardcore, so I do have some hopes that we'll see something very positive come out of those relationships.